Okay, I'm not going to show you my face, but I'm going to talk here. I'm going to leave my kind of diary here now. I'm a little pissed off. I had done some stupid things. I had gone on Craigslist and done some chatting with some officers. I've been not really saying trying to receive it. I've been goofing around because I've been stressed out and having a little. Basically, saying I'm trying to kill time. So I got on a Craigslist. I ended up talking to these sites that are supposed to be posted for an adult tool, I'm going to say. Me and my wife kind of talk to people online. I'm not going to lie. I got in this thing where the officers were charging me for sex trafficking, commercial sex trafficking. The first one, I could have mentioned a few things that were wrong that I shouldn't have. I did mention the trade. It was just kind of, I was kind of killing time. And this is what I'm doing. Because, when I'm home alone, I'm bored. I wasn't out looking for nothing. I was out to do nothing like this. But maybe I used my words kind of wrong here. And yes, I did offer this trade. I didn't offer money. But I didn't say the first part in one of my cases or my things that were charged that they came first to me, that they said they were going to say you can have her for 150 HH, that stands for a half hour, and 200 for an hour. They approached me first. This is the second ad I replied to. First one I was talking to, they started, hey, it's during the bike rally, you're goofing around. I'm stressed from work because I've been working and I work at Walmart. I've been working at Walmart. Walmart has now changed and they started stressing people out. So I've been trying to kill some time. This is what I like to do. I didn't mean to go out there and do it. But by federal law, if you sell or trade or buy sex with an underage girl, it's a law. You do not have to meet a person anymore. That's what they're saying. So I thought by law, the crime has got to be committed that you have to physically hand over the merchandise or meet the person that you're supposed to come to. Okay? Understand. But my prosecutor person now, saying that, this is what she said, that you don't have to meet nobody. That you drew the line once you made the agreement. But you met nobody. You didn't plan to go nowhere. But they're saying, it's all right. We can arrest anybody out there now that says this. So they're saying, so you can go out, try to make a drug deal, kind of same thing. Have the intent to go to it, but not do it. But they'll arrest you for it. Because our law, they say they see you do it, but do they have pictures showing you did it? They have pictures showing you drive by the car. They said they could see me across the street. They said they seen my car drive that way and look at the car across the street. That was a highway they looked across the street. I don't know how they can see this. How could they see the guy in the car look at the white car that I was looking at the car actually be this way? I'm telling you right now, I don't see this as being fair. Our law system right now is so corrupted. I know what commercial sex trafficking is now. It's selling people. But who is the biggest commercial sex trafficking? Is it the real pimps that are selling it? Let's think about this. These undercover agents are trying to trap people for us. But how much money have they made off all these people that actually really haven't done this? But the people that actually, yeah, maybe some have their child pornography. But the ones that aren't really trying to do it get caught into this. And they're making, I'm talking a lot of money. Because a lawyer doesn't make cheap money. They make good money. In this situation, my concept here, so you're saying that there's so many bad people out there selling sex, but why aren't they fighting to catch the bad ones? The ones that are selling the sex. The ones that are trying to make women do this. Why aren't they fighting against that? Well, no, they're going after the people that are trying to buy. Well, if you're advertising out there to do it, you're selling it. And they don't care if it's a kid. They don't care if it's an adult. You're still selling it. So long run. Now, here's another thing. A person who committed a crime, they had sex with a child, solicited to a child, got rape charges, can serve less time than a guy who didn't do charges, press sex trafficking, commercial sex trafficking, can get 10 to 15 years mandatory for doing nothing. Physically, in the long run, the law system kind of sucks at this, actually, to tell you the truth. Because a guy who commits rape to a girl sees less time than a person that actually doesn't do anything. They say it's more of a crime for what I did, or people like us, or whatever you want to call us. That here's a guy that goes out looking for sex. Maybe he wasn't looking for sex. Maybe I was curious. Maybe I want to see who these people were. I sell phones. I'm going to tell you that. I sell and trade phones. I buy phones. Maybe I had my attention. Nobody even asked my side of my story. Not the prosecutor. My lawyer kind of sat down and talked to me. I didn't want to sit and the judge because she lies her ass off. She is the biggest lying piece of crap I've ever seen in the market. And then, well, my kid calls, a mustache man is no different. Then he goes outside and throws a timber tantrum from what I heard from my son, because he heard him, because he did something. What did he do wrong? I don't know. But when they do a thing at the judge, and kind of, you know, the little thing where they have to go up to the counter or whatever the judge saying, I've noticed that she kind of threw a hissy fit because she didn't get her way. I'm sitting there going, okay, this is a prosecutor. I understand they're supposed to be professional, but this lady here was just trying to put, not even a person that she doesn't know. She don't know who I am. She doesn't know my background. She did not search my computers. She did not. They actually told me they're going to get warrants. But they never come to my house. They never took my computers, looked at my computers, my cameras, or anything that I had. They said I had porn. I don't have any child pornography. I'm not that type of a guy. I like working on cell phones. I like selling cell phones. I like helping people out. I might have been interested in, maybe I didn't mention it, but you know, that's because maybe I would like to meet them and maybe I was going to work a deal selling it to them. Even if it was just money, maybe I wasn't even going to give it to them. Sometimes I don't care. I'm not afraid to give something to somebody. I mean, I like to help people out. Because I know a lot of people can't afford things. And they're expensive phones, but in the long run, I got a big heart. I'm not going to lie. I don't lie. I never lied in my court. I never lied in my statements. I was honest in my interviews that they talked about. They asked me my rights, but they never really stopped and said, hey, you got to stop. You don't have to answer these. They kept pursuing themselves. They kind of talked me into it. They kept saying, answer the questions. I'm being a nice guy and just kind of being willing. And that's what I'm saying, willing. But here I am. Now I'm going to court. I got a jury to look at me. She's trying to use me on 2 cases. The first one I never did. The second one, yes, I did actually say I wanted to go meet them. And they said yes. I drove out there. Did I stop at their car? No, I did not. Did I really drive by their car? No, I did not. Well, the officer that was scoping out the thing said I drove this way around my building and through by the car and then I stared at the car and looked. But he's across the street on I-85. How could he see me? But they didn't take pictures. The guy in the white car was an undercover agent. He was not at the trial. He was not there at all. So basically, he has no story from this side of this guy. Okay, I understand that. The guy that interviewed me at the police department asked me the questions. He said, this is going to be an ongoing investigation. He says, we're going to go in, we're going to go check the computers. You got porn, this and that. We're going to check all that stuff. We're going to search it. We're going to get warrants and this and that. All right. I understood. Never once got a warrant to check it. They only searched my phone. When my lawyer says, well, they searched your phone. Did you find anything discreet? Pictures, porn, child porn, bad pictures of porn, anything like that. Just children's stuff. No, I do not have that on there. But he didn't come to my house to look at anything else. They just thought they had enough because I chatted online to a person and offers to buy sex for a phone. Physically, I didn't really offer yet or agree. I didn't want to meet these people. I picked a nice place to say I could talk to them, maybe see if I wanted to sell a phone or something. But nobody really approached me and asked me this. The prosecutor never asked me. She's being one of her stuck-up people thinking everybody's guilty. During the court, she actually mentioned someone and she didn't say it right. But now here's why I got the problem. I was at court. I understand a witness that's in the court. I don't care if it's a police officer or not. But the guy that arrested me in jail went to the conversation. He's sitting in the courtroom all day with these people. Witness to two first people, but he's watching these two guys. So now he's got the information from these two guys that he's sitting there. He can follow up on his same sentence and keep going with it. All right? And like my lawyer said, he says, it's kind of weird that when the police officers are all up there and investigators or whatever they call them, defense people, whatever, I don't know what they call them. We're up there. She answered the questions. They answered back willingly. No problem. No hesitation. They had an answer for everything. Just like they knew what they were going to say. They were like already had their script and ready to read it. Every answer, they had it. All right, so my lawyer sitting there talking. He goes, it's kind of weird. But she asked the questions, they respond. But I answered, they hesitated, they stuttered, they didn't know, they go, all right. What was the question again? Well, one question was the girl. Yeah, they altered the picture because they can't send pictures. Well, it's not a bad picture. It don't mean nothing. It's not pornography. It's a picture. Was there any bad things about this picture? No. I asked about a sexy picture, but they were for the older woman I was talking to earlier. They're supposed to be a woman, but I guess not. All right. I did ask about her daughter because the picture was cut off. I seen a person next to it. Well, this was a bike rally. The ad said, all right, the ad did say 35 and 12 years. That's when we went to the bike rally. That's how many years. Well, I don't understand. Because, I am dyslexic. I'm very dyslexic. I do not know what a lot of words stand for. I can't spell a lot of words. I'm not going to lie. This is the way it is. But they think anybody's incompetent to read this stuff. Well, the officer that wrote this one, he took over from the other guy and he says, can you make that? So I don't understand what you're saying. Well, one part was, heal it. And the line goes, no panty party. Okay, well, I understand. Well, I've lived around Bell for a long time. I never heard this. This guy's never been to Hewitt, but he said, I think they have a party like that out there. So tell me, how did they know this if they're putting this in the description, but they don't been out there? They don't know out there. They said, well, I don't think they wear underwear out there. So you're saying everybody don't wear underwear out there. That's not right. So you're saying that anybody go out there and have sex with people, they can buy, because basically buying sex, everybody buys sex. If you take a girl out to a restaurant, a movie, a bar, you buy her beer, you take her home. You're buying her sex. It doesn't matter. It's still sex. If you chat with her on the phone, so let's meet at the bar, I'll buy you some drinks. You're buying her sex because she's probably going to go home. It doesn't matter. It's still the same concept. Well, they said, when I heard what commercial sex trafficking was finally, I finally got some words about it. If you talk about sex online, use the internet for sex, it's commercial sex trafficking. It doesn't matter if it's buying it. You just said internet is commercial sex trafficking. In this situation, I just heard of a kid that used Facebook. Coached a girl out to wherever, got sex with it, and then all of a sudden I heard that she had rape charges. Okay, I understand. And it's titled, he was sentenced for 6 months, and I guess he got some like 5 years of probation or whatever it was. But 5 months, or 6 months, I mean. 6 months isn't a long time for somebody to commit rape. He raped somebody, that they said. So a guy who goes out, buys it, and does nothing, he's going to see more time than a guy who raped somebody. Is this right? Tell me. And I will be posting this. If my case goes wrong, I will have my wife post it for me. And I will let her keep posting it until something is really considered. Because this isn't fair at all. Not at all, one bit. I didn't know I did something wrong. I should have been, right now, I understand I should have been in trouble for doing what I did. But right now, it should, my opinion, this isn't a really crime that I really committed. I didn't take and get nobody. Right now, I would even settle for a misdemeanor. Because it's not really a crime that somebody actually went out and did. I didn't go out and do it. They say we're trying to prevent it. Well, it's funny. All these sex things I've heard lately about the sex crimes, I've heard a lot of sex trafficking. There was a guy in Sioux Falls that had sex trafficking with a girl. The girl came from out of state. She came to his motel room. She finally got away from him. I finally understand that's what she said. Turned him in because she couldn't get away. He brought her online. He had money. He had computer. He had stuff. He got 6 months. He brought this girl. I don't know if it's a young girl, but it's still sex trafficking. No matter if she's a young girl. What's the difference between a young girl and an older person? It's considered sex trafficking either way. It's still buying a person, no matter if they're underage. I understand the underage ones are worse. But first off, there was no victim in my case. I never really met nobody to really say. I chatted, and that's as far as it went. I drove out to a place. Well, they're saying I went across. Well, what they consider, did he cross the line or did he go over the line? Prosecutor says, I crossed the line. I went further than I should have. My lawyer says, I didn't cross the line. Because first of all, I didn't mention any place to go to meet or to actually go have sex. Like he said, was it going to the bathroom? Or was it going to have sex in the middle of a parking lot with a bike rally or something going on? Well, everybody say, I understand these people like this kind of stuff like that. But no, I was not going to do this. I didn't have any intention to go out there and meet these people. Maybe I had intention to meet somebody to sell a phone or give a phone away. You know, I'm willing to give a phone away. I'm not going to lie. I got the biggest heart in the world. I can't lie. I would give you my shirt off my back if I had to. That's the way I am. I can care less. I mean, I like my stuff, but it's an item. It's nothing I'm personal with, you know. If I have to give up something, I will give it to you. If you ask me, because you don't have it, yeah, may I hesitate, but you know, if I see how you are, like I had this one person, I gave something to him. I had no problem giving it to him, giving away the merchandise. I don't have a problem giving money. I help people. I don't mind it. I like it. It makes me feel good. I'm not Christian. I don't believe in being a Christian person because, I'm sorry, that's a Christian person is not a real person, I don't think. Because in the long run, if you say you're a Christian, but you don't help nobody or do nothing, but you make yourself to be a Christian, you don't help people. You just kind of say, I'm a Christian person and I'm out there to do all this. But, and this is the thing. Our technology is getting so bad, our police are taking, God. Okay, here's one. I understand that the stuff they pulled, they couldn't pull my software off the phone. Because what they said, we don't have the software to do it because they are encrypted. Well, here's this. They're supposed to be FBI people. They're supposed to have the best technology out there to do this encryption and computer stuff. But they don't have that technology. And you know why? Because they're trying to raise money. Where do they raise the money? They bust people like me. Because you know what? How much money do these guys make off of me? Just for one thing. I'm under house arrest. You know what that cost me a month? It cost me $100 a month. It ain't fair. It's better than being in jail. I understand. But it costs me. It costs jail people to keep a guy in jail. His rent, he pays less. That guy in jail pays less money than you do at home for being in jail. He'll pay, well, let's see what they say. I think that's what they said, $180 probably for that month for that one guy to be in the jail there. I'm not sure about all of them. they could all be different. But that's cheap. Room and board there, and 3 meals a day is cheap. So I understand why a lot of these guys go back. They've got a set life. They kind of like this kind of life. I really didn't like it. It kind of made, you go nowhere. You're sitting in this one room, or you sit in a big room where you can wander around, but it ain't fair. Not everybody. I mean, there was a guy that got in trouble. Yeah, he wanted to get younger people. He offered for younger. He said, "I'll take younger people." Well, he had stuff on his computer. He had evidence. Okay, yeah, he plead guilty. I'm not gonna lie. He's plead guilty. This is his case. This is between him and his lawyer. So I understand. He took his plea bargain because they gave him probably a better deal. Yeah, that's good for him. I think he thought about it a little bit, and it was actually a better deal for him in the long run. He knew something. Okay, whatever. I wasn't planning on taking a plea bargain because they were trying to make 7 years off a simple little case. 7 years to me is not right. On top of whatever goes on. Well, a couple of months, they said we could probably drop it 5 to 4. Finally, just lowered it. Finally gave in a little bit. I wasn't giving in because I don't believe it's right, to the truth. In the long run, because physically, I know by law, that you have to actually meet the person. Because if you prostitute, like on the TV shows people prostitute, they meet the person and they make the deal. What's the difference between this and the prostitute thing? I didn't meet with them. I did drive away. They said in my one sentence, "Where were you going?" I was supposed to meet somebody, but I got stopped. Well, she took this and I'm heading back after I was going in the direction home. I never said I was going home yet. But when I was in the jail, he asked me the same question, and I told him I was heading home. I wasn't after sex. Because really, no, when I went to go see this person, I had questioned about a white car. I didn't know there was a white car that was supposed to be there. They said there was a white car. I didn't know at the time. I just questioned it if it was, and I drove off. That was it. That was my last conversation. So, this is my thing. I don't believe this is right. And I will post this. Like I said, I will have my wife post this if this goes bad for me. Because it's the way it is. I don't think it's right. I know it ain't right. A lot of people out in the world. I had a guy in the jury who says, "That's entrapment." It is entrapment. Because our law offices, they say, no, it is entrapment. But they force a person. If they get them started, you can carry it on. And they did kind of carry. I like to talk about things. It's internet chat. Everybody chats like that. They talk slang is what their words were. We use slang. Okay. What's slang? I don't understand some of their slang. He asked him, says, "You can read this, right?" All right, so you're telling me that I brought in like Latin and language or something like that. You could read it. So you would need a translator, right? Yeah, I think you're probably right. So I might have not known what they were saying. Well, the ad on this Craigslist, first off, begins with, "You're supposed to be 18 years old." Their ad is 18. They change it in the middle of the conversation. I didn't know that it said it. I'm not lying. I'm not going to say it. I didn't know. I didn't have sex with. I didn't meet with nobody. It ain't fair. So the next people that get out there do it, they're going to do the same thing, no matter what. Maybe some people, there are people out there that I don't see having sex with a 9-year-old. I don't think it's right. I know it ain't right. I wouldn't do it. I don't like it. I wouldn't do it at all. I don't see the reason because I'm into the real thing. I mean, I prefer to have the real thing. That ain't the real thing yet. She's not developed. She's not there. 15-year-old, her picture looked like she was still 18. They said it's 15. That's what they made it look like. Her eyes were dilated in this picture. So I don't know if it's a real picture. She could have been stoned. She could have been a young girl stoned talking to me. So this is my conversation. And like I said, my wife's going to post this if I do get in trouble. And I'm going to let her do it. I have no problem doing it. I'm not showing my face. I'm keeping it simple and quiet. It is sex trafficking, commercial sex trafficking. Our law system is the ones that are the biggest commercial sex traffickers out there. They make more money off of it, and they will deny it, but yes, they do. They're the worst people out there. They make more money than the pimps. The pimps do not make that much money compared to the law office. The law office is making more money out there. I'm not lying. I paid a lot of money for my lawyer. I'm not going to lie. If I paid that much money for him, what are they making? So you're saying, because you're paying all these people to do this. So they're the ones that causing this problem. And it's a bad problem, you know. They're making it, it's a big problem out there. Okay, that's where he's going. I like this. But you know what? I didn't hear this guy actually buying sex from a person. Do you ever hear that? All I hear is a person raping somebody most of the time. And they get less time. I didn't hear this guy. Well, this one guy, he did. I understand, but it was an older woman. Or younger or something like that. I don't know what the age was. But it was an older person. But I know it's out there. It is out there. But they make it sound like every football game, every baseball game, bike rally, hunting, everything like that, they're out there for them. They only came here during the bike rally. Now it's stopped. It's gone. They don't do it anymore. And I'm like, I'm lost. Because if there's such a big thing, even yet, they would still consider doing it. I mean, I understand they prostitute people and buy anything. But you know what? I don't even think that's right either. If you're going out to buy sex, you're buying sex every time. I understand it ain't right. So you're saying, this is what I said. Well, a girl, not a girl, a young girl, but this woman, she wanted to make some money. I understand it is not right. They shouldn't do it. But I see TV shows where they prosecute. This guy couldn't get sex from his wife. All right? And these are legal age people, they're supposed to be. And yet, maybe he was wanting, maybe he wanted, what I'm going to say, a blowjob. Just that. But his wife is in a thing. She's an athletic. She got to use a wheelchair thing to do, get around. So he went out. Okay, I understand. But he got arrested. Now his wife's at the store and he's in pound and he got a year, this and all that for all this. I don't know exactly what he got charged for, but but he was buying sex and he got impound car and everything. It ain't right. Physically, in a guy here, he was around to buy it, but he never did agree on it. He pulled over to the site. You know what he got? He got cited a ticket for loitering. Sitting there watching to see what was going on. Is that right? I mean, I understand he was loitering, but it wasn't right either. Because he didn't commit the crime yet. But they were trying to find a way to get a ticket from him. That's probably an $80 ticket. Anymore, our law system's a rip. They charge too much money for speeding tickets. It's like they don't make. Okay, there's one. Like he was talking about one of the jury people that was selected out. He says, a guy with a badge, I have to believe him. He's always right. He isn't going to lie. But they can't remember what they wrote in their notes. They don't even remember because they write it 2 days later. Like the guy says, well, he drove by the car. It was not in his notes. So how could you say he drove by the car if he wasn't in the notes? But you said. So when it comes down to the police and the prosecutors, they have time to talk to each other and compare their evidence. So they can talk. So they can plan this stuff out for people. It ain't right. I know it ain't right because they have to talk to them. And kind of weird that when my lawyer asked the guy, and they kind of says, yeah. What was the question? I don't understand what you're talking about. What is this? But when she, or the prosecutor, oh yeah, I remember that. It's kind of weird that he remembers detail by detail, and this has been a couple of months. I'm not talking, it was during bike rally, and that's August. Now my court date was April. How long is that? How good is your memory for word to word? No. In the long run, they planned on this. They actually sat there and talked to each other. So in the long run, it is not right. One of my guys were in the room, a witness, sat there all through the trial, and they actually talked to him. I don't think that's right. Because in the long run, he sat there and listened. And then now he got to go up on the stand and say the same thing what he heard, pretty much. So in the long run, that ain't right. That's not justice. What is justice? I mean, I don't know. Today, I don't think freedom's anymore. If you go out there and walk across the street or spit, man, even if you pee on the street, they'll sex traffic you. It's a crime. And there's